Hello students, welcome to the discussion of AWP. Today we will be discussing 3 questions, 2 questions on environment part from GS3, that is conservation, environmental pollution, degradation and environmental impact assessment would be the topic, and 1 question from the current affair. So let's take an overview of all the 3 questions. The first question is related to Aravali Green Wall project. The second one is related to solid waste management rules. And the third is related to mission life, life for environment, lifestyle for environment. So let's start with the first question. The Aravali Green Wall project has been proposed as a nature-based solution to mitigate climate change and protect biodiversity in the region. Highlight the potential ecological, economic and social benefits of this project, as well as the challenges that need to be addressed to ensure its success. So the question is about the Green Wall project. It is a governmental initiative. We will discuss what that initiative is all about. And the question is demanding in the body that how this Green Wall project will have the potential ecological, economical and social benefits. So we have to write these benefits of this project as well as the challenges that needs to be addressed. So this would be the main body part. We'll start with the introduction, then in body we'll write this thing, and in conclusion we will write the summary or the way forward. So in the introduction, what we can write? It can be the definition based intro, or you can write some purpose of the Aravali Green Wall project. So what is the Aravali Green Wall project? It is a 1400 kilometer long and 5 kilometer wide. Green belt cover means the trees would be planted along this 1400 kilometer range along the Aravali hills so as to protect this region from this region. What is this region? This is the Thar Desert. So this Green Wall initiative would protect or would act as a barrier so as to check the eastward march of the Thar Desert, so as to protect the other regions from getting degraded or destroyed. So this is an initiative which get influenced from the Africa's Great Green Wall Initiative. So what this will include? It will include the afforestation drive, the rejuvenation of the water bodies and the restoration of the already degraded land. So this thing in the initiative or the definition you can write, and other thing also you can write that ISRO has released the atlas of land degradation and the deforestation, and it is said that approximately 30% of the land has already got degraded in 2018 and 19. So this calls for some action, and the Great Green Wall Initiative or the Aravali Green Wall Initiative is in this direction only. So let's come to the body. We have to write the potential benefits of the Aravali Green Wall project. So first benefit would be ecological benefits. This vegetative cover will sequester the carbon, so it will protect or it will act as a shield against the climate change. The next one is the water conservation. So as we have discussed in the introduction that the water bodies rejuvenation will be the one part or the one component of this Green Wall initiative. So along with the conservation or the rejuvenation of the water bodies, this vegetative cover or the establishment or the creation of the forest will retain the water, it will recharge the groundwater, etc. Then biodiversity conservation. So by creating a rich, diverse habitat, it means it is promoting the protection of the diverse flora and fauna. So the biodiversity conservation. The next one is the economic benefits. This Green Wall initiative will promote or will provide the invaluable ecosystem services, the provisioning services, support services, regulating services and the cultural services that have the huge or the immense economic values also. Then this vegetative cover will promote the ecotourism and it will support or open up the huge employment opportunities for the people. The next is the social benefits. So our environment tells about the health, our well-being of the human being. So improved environment, improved environmental quality, improved air quality will lead to improved health and the well-being of the people. Then next comes the cultural and the spiritual values. Also, this Aravali Green Wall project will have the humongous people's participation so as to give the success to this project. So it will have the people's participation, so it leads to people empowerment also, because they'll have the say in the decision making, they will work in group, they will build a community. So next comes the challenges which needs to be addressed. So the very first challenge is the related to land acquisition and the ownership. This would be the very big challenge because of the conflicting land use patterns, existing ownership claims and the legal complexities. For this afforestation drive, because to make this afforestation or the rejuvenation of the water bodies or to claim or reclaim the degraded land, so this requires the land along the Aravali ranges. So acquiring the land would be the challenge. The next is the financial resources. So the financial resources is a significant aspect in this regard, like financial resources are required for the saplings, seedlings, irrigation, labor and maintenance of these trees and shrubs. The next is vulnerability towards the climate change will have the negative influence or the negative impact on these plantations of trees and the shrubs, on the survival of these trees. So these are some challenges which needs to be addressed. So in the conclusion, you can write that these are some challenges. So these are some way forward or the recommendations, like we should go for the stakeholders approach, like the people's government and the private sector participation should be there so as to minimize the conflict, even in the land acquisition or for the maintenance and other aspects of this afforestation drive. Next is the robust monitoring that the plants are surviving or not. If not, how to take the appropriate actions over that time. And the adaptive management. Or you can write the summary that yes, this Aravali Green project is crucial for the sustainable future. It will address the climate change, it will protect the biodiversity, enhancing the community resilience, etc. And it will also empowers the community. So this way you can write the conclusion. So let's see the model answer. It's starting with the ISRO's desertification and the land degradation atlas and telling about some data. Then the potential benefits of this project and the challenges, then way forward and finally concluding. Let's start with the second question. Solid waste management has emerged as one of the most massive developmental challenge in urban India. Discuss. So it means you have to tell that how this solid waste management is a challenge. Means what are the different challenges at the various levels in the solid waste management. So this is the demand of the question. We will do the fundamental theme, we'll take introduction, body and then finally conclusion. So in introduction, what we can write? We can write the definition or some data. Data like approximately 62 million tons of annual waste is getting generated in India and it is projected to reach approximately 165 million tons in 2031 and 436 million tons in 2050. So this significant scale of the waste generation shows the significant challenges which India can face. So this way you can start the introduction by quoting that yes, this is a very major challenge in the urban development. Then next, body, challenges in the urban solid waste management. So you can write with the different methods, like you can write infrastructural issues are there, waste segregation, collection issue is there, people's participation is not there, urban local bodies is not empowered that enough or the capacity building is not there. You can write, but we will see how we can write in the life cycle approach, like how are some challenges in the solid waste management at the different level of the solid waste management, like in the generation and the segregation issue, then collection and the transportation, then treatment and disposal, and then finally resource recovery and recycling process. What are the various challenges along each phases of this life cycle of solid waste management? So let's start with the first thing, generation of solid waste. What are the challenges in this generation of the solid waste? Due to rapid urbanization and increase in population, it means the waste generation is increasing. It means it is increasing at massive pace also and in the massive quantity also. So the massive generation of the waste is in itself is a issue. Then waste segregation. Again, waste segregation is an issue. So if waste is getting segregated at the source, it means there is a less volume of the mixed waste. It means there are the increased chances of getting it treated well. Then collection and the transportation issues. Collection, there is not an appropriate or the adequate infrastructure developed for the collection of the data. So there is an inefficient waste pickup. Then comes the transportation issues. From the waste collection to the waste disposal, there is a huge distance, or the distance is very large. So it increases the transportation cost. Also, it increases the emissions during this process. Then next is treatment and disposal. Treatment, again, due to inappropriate segregation of the waste, it hinders the efficient treatment process. And the disposal, again in India, maximum waste is getting disposed into open dumps or the landfills. You can quote data as well as example as much as you can in this question. Then next comes the resource recovery and recycling. There is a very limited emphasis on the resource recovery and recycling. So the valuable resources is getting wasted because they just directly getting dumped into the landfills. So these are some challenges. Either you can write in the next part that what are the ways to improve these challenges, or like we should go for the recyclable products, or we can use, like you can give examples like we can use the cloth handbags instead of the plastic waste so as to reduce the waste generation. Then we try to promote the efforts at the source segregation. So like in the hospitals, it's a green, yellow, blue bags are there, and infrastructural development should be there for the collection services, etc. So either you can write the way forward for the challenges, or you can write some governmental initiatives in this direction, that government is promoting Swachh Bharat mission, waste to energy projects, like waste to energy projects so as to reduce the waste generation and increase the energy. So via Gobardhan scheme. Then plastic waste management and the e-waste rules are there so as to increase the extended producer responsibility, so as to focus on the reduced waste production, recycling, and the reduction and the recycling and the reusability of the products, so as to reduce the burden on the municipal solid waste management also. Then lastly comes the private participation should be there so as to bring in the expertise, the specialization in taking the sustainable solid waste management. Then next comes the conclusion. You can write the summary or the recommendations, anything, whatever there are the challenges. So we need to do the collaborative efforts, or there is a need for the streamlined and the techno-economically viable solid waste management so as to promote the sustainable future and so as to reduce the waste generation also. So this way we have completed the second question. Let's see the model answer. Solid waste management, some data, then challenges, then government measures in this direction like Swachh Bharat, waste to energy, etc. Finally, conclusion. Let's move to the third question. What is the mission life introduced at COP26 to UNFCCC held in Glasgow? Discuss How mission life introduced by India will contribute towards the achievement of SDG goals? So the question is about life mission, life initiative, and how it is fulfilling SDG goals. So these are two demands of the question. So in introduction, you can directly hit the demand, you can write the definition or the overview what is life initiative. It's an Indian call to the citizens, to the global citizens, to the communities, industries and policymakers around the world to adopt the lifestyle for the environment. It is a mass movement that is calling for this. So it is emphasizing on individual contributions for the larger climate goal. India is aiming to make 80% of the villages and urban local bodies environmental friendly by 2028. It is also promoting the spirit of 3P, that is pro, planet, people. That would envisage the principle of lifestyle for the people, by the people and of the people and the planet. Lifestyle for the planet, lifestyle of the planet and lifestyle by the planet. So this way you can start your introduction. Let's see the body. Features of mission life. So it is aiming to mobilize approximately 1 billion people, Indian citizens and also global citizens, to take initiatives in the conservation and the protection of environment in this duration, during 2022 to 2028. It would be envisaged in 3 phases. What are these 3 phases? The first one would be change in demand. The second would be change in supply. The third is change in policy. So, what is this change in demand? It means this mission life or our government is nudging people to change the demand dynamics. Like now we should demand environmental friendly products, goods and services. So this is change in demand, like the promotion or asking for the cloth bag instead of the plastic bags while shopping. Then change in supply. If the demand dynamics would be changed, obviously the industries had to change the supply also. And what is this change in policy? During this change in demand and supply dynamics, obviously the industries and the government has to change the policies also so as to give a push to the environmental friendly goods and services. So this is the features of the mission life. Next comes the body, a role of mission life in SDGs. Like this mission life is envisaging 75 life initiatives, means lifestyle initiatives in approximately 7 categories. What are these categories? Like water saving, energy saving, sustainable, food systems, then reduces single-use plastic, reducing waste generation or the waste production, etc. There are some 7 categories and these are some 75 initiatives along these 7 categories. So the question is asking that how this promotion or the initiative would lead to the fulfillment of the SDG goals. We'll see. Like the life mission is promoting LED promotions so as to save the energy, smart switches and the solar setup. So this will fulfill the 7th SDG goal, that is affordable and clean energy. The next is because this will also give the employment opportunities in the renewable sources of energy or this initiative. So approximately 65 million jobs would be generated by 2030. So if the jobs would be generated, it means it is promoting the SDG goal number 8, decent work and economic growth. Next is green spaces and reduced air pollution, because there are some initiatives, individual initiatives for the bigger climate goals. So these include some reduced air pollution initiatives like green spaces. So it will enhance the SDG 11 goal, that is sustainable cities and communities. Then next is energy efficiency, plastic recycling, resource reduction. In this life initiatives will fulfill the 12th goal of SDG, responsible production and consumption. Then next is like there would be the change in the supply, demand and the policies for EV also, EV promotion, water conservation, renewable energy promotion. So this would fulfill the mitigation to the climate change. Goal number 13. Then water pollution prevention, cleanup drives, fulfilling the goal number 14, life underwater. Then lastly, sustainable cities, tree plantation, e-waste reduction. In this life mission will fulfill the life on land 15th SDG goal. So next is conclusion. So in conclusion, either you can write summary like this life mission has a potential to contribute to the sustainable future or to contribute to the fulfillment of the SDG goals. Indirectly or directly, all SDGs can be linked to the life initiative, like SDG goal number 1 and 2, no poverty and the zero hunger, would be fulfilled with the employment generation and would the reduction in the food wastages. Like this way we can get the SDG goal number 1 and 2. So all the SDGs are linked this life mission. And finally we can write that now it is a time to call to action for all the stakeholders so as to they work in the collaborative manner for the sustainable future, so as to fulfill the life mission also initiative. So this way we have completed the third question. Let's see the model answer. Some definition based introduction, then features, then role of mission life in achieving SDG goal, finally the conclusion. So this was the discussion for today. Thank you and have a nice day.